don't think that will actually affect us, their action. The rare earths are picked because they have a surplus number of electrons, which are not actually needed by them, but for some unknown reason, no scientist been able to explain why they have this band. And half of the number of rare earths have what they call a 4F band with all these surplus electrons on it, which means they're easier to pull off. And if you pull them off, because they like them, they just push them all back from the surrounding area around them, the fabric around them, and the chain goes on. The more you draw, the chain speeds up. And it gets to a point where the temperature is going down because we are increasing more electron input from the surrounding fabric than we are pumping out. And this means the machine is getting cooler and cooler. And this is good because it never overheats. That's the one blessing that conventional engines would overheat if you kept on taking more and more energy from it. This one does not. It cools and cools and cools. The other good thing about it is that electrons, you've got to have electrons to be able to get current to move. You need an MFF to push electrons into a system and get them to move to our advantage. Direct them to where we want them directed instead of them being in a random motion, just doing what they want and not going how we want them. And we have to create a force. Now, our force is a magnetic field in motion. And our magnetic field is somewhat different to conventional magnetic field. That's why we can keep it going and never, ever have to stop it. We can leave it running all the time. And when you take a load from it, it speeds up to match it. And this is the beauty. The velocity of the rollers relate to the current being drawn from the machine. And I don't see any other machine on the market that does anything like that. That's what's so different about it. Yet, as I'm explaining in the book I'm writing onto the net, how each stage of my learning, which is scientific fact, actually is in the SEG, precisely the same. Why do scientists say it's impossible? Well, of course they don't want it to be possible. They never made it. And they have a finance position which they do not want to lose. They get loans that they don't want to cut back. So what's happening here is that the educational world and the industry do not want to lose their funding for the work they're doing, and therefore must not support or be seen supporting this work. And that is the hardest part, to have to be alone and force it to the marketplace until scientists have no option but to accept it openly.
I don't think the scientists are going to accept anything, A, that goes against their training, B, that is something they don't understand, and C, when they have all these attachments to their institutions. But I think that as this gets funded at such a level that you can really go at the speed and precision that you want with this, they will be forced to accept it. A lot of people go into business and they don't necessarily understand the stuff that they're in business about. They don't understand all their products. They don't understand how everything works. So they don't have to understand how this works. They just need to know that it does work. And I think that's where the commercial part will expand for you and the entire enterprise. The mission will expand once the first few $1 million is donated and you're free and clear. I believe that this funding has to be given as a gift to go and do it again, because you've already done it. Once you're able in a free and clear manner to proceed without being encumbered, those are the optimal conditions to manufacture.
Yes, the trouble with big companies who can put money or would put money in it have said to me only weeks ago that they've seen my side of the statement, but they also see all the anti-stuff on the web. And they've been conned before, and therefore, under these conditions, they wouldn't invest in it. And that's a shame, really.
They're not the right investors. That's really my point. Those aren't the investors. The real investors, people with either a little bit or a lot of money, are in a position to let go, move the money, get it over to you, walk away, and let you do your thing. Those are the real investors, because they're not investing in this. They're investing in the future of humanity.
This is it. And the trouble is, somehow they're frightened to do just that because they see so much stuff about how people are being conned. They like to see a bit more proof that I do have the education for this work, which they told I don't have, but these clever so-called scientists they claim to be on the internet, that Searl never had nothing. He has no knowledge to do it. Therefore, he didn't do it. People said, I thought you was dead. That's what we understood. Of course, there were people who told people I was dead. After I got pushed out of the work by theft and destruction. I just had to struggle along in the dark until I could get moving again. Of course, they hope I'll never make it again. And therefore, they told people I was dead. They buried me. But, that's sad when you think that people said such lies to people to get them to lose interest in the work.
That's all politics. That's all mean politics. But look, you know how you were saying that everybody wants to own this? Here's the paradigm. This is a stewardship project. This is not an ownership project. It's a different paradigm of finance. This is get it done money. This is not control it, own it money. And so there are people on the earth who will participate. The thing is that you have to be free and clear. And I repeat, free and clear to take this into manufacturing. And the finances need to be set up for people that are doing what you're doing in such a way that you're free and clear to proceed. The old venture capital paradigm, the parasitic paradigm that wants to only attach to something that's already built but doesn't want to get involved in building it, we don't want them. We're not interested in them. They're not the correct consciousness for the mother lode that your invention and your technology is. So the frequency of the money and the consciousness behind the money has to match the marvel of what you're doing.
Agree. As I've said to the Prime Ministers of the United Kingdom, as they came to parks at Gordon Brown, I didn't bother with. But the others, I said, what we need is move people out of area, bulldoze it, clean the mess up, and reconstruct on advanced modern technology. Because we can make a better world for everyone. Everyone has a right to have a better living condition that equal to one and all. Each must do their part to make that happen. And if we don't, how are we going to beat the illnesses and problems and bad health conditions if we don't work together to achieve the success and making the conditions better so we do not suffer as we do today? And the future generations will suffer even worse than us because the way they're coming up are coming up in the wrong branch of the tree. They're going to end that has no further use and they're finished. They must go up the trunk and start a new branch that will guarantee to expand and expand so future generations can carry on in a better condition than we are. We are not moving forward like we do. We claim to have all these wonderful technology, but I don't see any difference in my life because of them. I want technology where I see a difference in my life and in everybody's life.
You know, John, when a company like Monsanto